All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm David LaValle, Assistant Chief with the Detroit Police Department. Have some information that we want to share today with the public. This morning, shortly after midnight, we had a homicide that occurred in the city of Detroit in the 300 block of West McNichols. I don't want to get into too many details about the homicide itself. What I will tell you is that the suspect and victim met up at that location. There was an altercation that took place, and the victim was killed. It was a female, about 30 years old. Her body was left behind a building at that location. Again, I don't want to get into too many more details about that particular part of this, but our detectives responded to the scene this morning when she was discovered. Through their investigation, they came upon some video footage that shows the suspect at the scene. At that point, we discovered that the suspect we believe to be the same individual that was involved in an attempted abduction last Friday evening in Troy at a Target. I'll show you some still images. The one on the right is from the Target in Troy. The one on the left, my left, is our homicide this morning. So based on the clothing description, everything matching exact, we believe it to be the same individual. So what we're doing today is we want to put that information out, list the individual of Andrew James Hall. He's a 31-year-old black male, about 6 foot 2 inches tall, 199 pounds. He is a person of interest in this case. We need to take him into custody as soon as possible. Again, because he was involved, we believe that he was involved in an attempted abduction last Friday in Troy, now a homicide in Detroit. Both of those incidents involve a female victim. We thought it was important to get this information out as soon as we could so that we can take him into custody. So we need the community's help. We need anybody who has information about him to call the Detroit police, call the Troy police. You can go on to Crime Stoppers. You can go on to Rewards TV. Give us information. If Mr. Hall is watching, I would encourage him to make arrangements to turn himself in. Right now we have a lot of law enforcement resources that are working very diligently to take him into custody. But again, he should be considered armed and dangerous. If anybody sees him, I would encourage them not to approach them himself, but instead call 911, call the police, go on Rewards TV or Crime Stoppers. If you want to remain anonymous, you can do that. There is a reward that will be able to be paid upon his arrest. So we will get pictures. I'm sure everybody already has pictures of him, but definitely we'll distribute pictures as well just to make sure. And again, we wanted to put everybody on alert that he is out right now. We don't know what the motive is behind these crimes, but we want everybody to be aware, be diligent, pay attention. If anybody sees him, please call so that we can take him into custody. And I'll take some questions if you have any.
As last night, Troy, he was not able to identify him. How were you guys able to name him today?
I believe there was a tip that came in giving us a name, and then there was, based on that tip, there was some additional evidence that was discovered that positively identifies him as the suspect in the Troy case. You know, with regard to our case, I showed you the pictures. The clothing is an exact match, so we believe he's the suspect in our case as well. Normally we wouldn't put a name and an age out, but I think because of the severity of this crime and the need to make sure that the community is safe, that they're aware, we felt it was important to put his information out prior to us obtaining a warrant.
Would you guys consider this one of your top priorities right now? Is locating?
It is. We have a tremendous number of assets. I won't tell you how many, but we have a lot of detectives and officers and several agencies scouring the area to look for him.
When you say armed and dangerous, obviously had a pistol, or I believe it was a gun
Right.
in the last incident. What other weapons?
In the Troy incident, I think a gun was described. In the incident this morning, there's potential that there's a knife involved. Again, I don't want to get into too many details. Our detectives are still working on that. But definitely he should be considered armed and dangerous.
The Troy abduction happened, or attempted abduction happened Friday.
Right.
The release came out on Monday. Has DPD had any conversation with Troy about the delay in getting that out there?
Not with regard to that. We have had a number of conversations with the Troy Police Department. Our detectives and theirs are working together to make sure that all of the information is shared. I spoke with the Troy Police Chief just a little while ago, just to coordinate release of information and make sure that we were aware of what each agency was working on. Nothing with regard to timeline on release.
I know that you're limited in what you can say about the homicide from this morning, but can you say at least whether he knew the victim prior to last night, or is this another potential case of him randomly selecting?
Yeah, I don't know if he knew the victim. Right.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for coming.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.